Looking back, it seems so obvious that I should never have taken those pills. But I was exhausted. My insomnia had been worse than usual, and I'd gone nearly a week without a good night's sleep. My boyfriend was the one who offered me some of his sleeping pills. Deep down, I knew I probably shouldn't have taken someone else's meds, but at that point I was so tired I was willing to try anything. And it worked. The next morning I woke up after the heaviest sleep I'd ever had in my life. "Jake, wake up." I was too excited to let him sleep in. It worked. I know. I was up late watching the game. When I came in, you were sleeping like a log. He yawned and smiled at me. "You didn't wake up for anything." The next night, I took another sleeping pill, and it was the same. Pretty soon, it was just part of the normal routine. I'd wake up feeling refreshed, go through the day, and then take another one of Jake's sleeping pills before we went to bed. I didn't think a thing was wrong until I noticed the bruises on my thighs. Where did these come from? I was talking to myself, but Jake overheard me and came to take a look. He said it was probably nothing and that I probably just rolled on something in the bed. I didn't know how that would happen, but with those pills I sleep so hard I wouldn't know. I tried to brush it off, but over the weeks my legs started to hurt and the bruising on my thighs was getting worse. I had my suspicions, but I tried to tell myself I was just paranoid. Jake wasn't like that. After a few weeks of trying to come up with any other explanation, I finally decided to see what was going on. I made sure Jake saw me get one of his pills, but when he wasn't looking, I spat it out. Then I pretended to be asleep. Jake came in and got in bed beside me. For a minute I thought my fears were unfounded. Maybe I was just clumsy. Maybe there really was nothing to worry about, just like he said. But then he sat up and started to tap me on the cheek. I did the best I could to pretend I was out cold. "Hey, are you awake? Babe, wake up." He kept at it for a minute and then leaned over me. I sat bolt upright and shoved him off. He insisted he did nothing wrong, that I'd looked funny and he was trying to check on me. I'd seen enough, and I'd had enough of the bruises and sore thighs in the mornings. I screamed at him for taking advantage of me every night. I told him what I knew while he sat there and denied everything. Finally, I told him to get out. I clearly could no longer trust him. The name on the apartment lease was mine, so by the next morning, Jake and his things were out. When I was cleaning that day, I found the almost empty bottle of his sleeping pills. I almost threw them out on the pile of his stuff that was growing in the hallway. Then I thought about it and put the bottle on my nightstand. Whether I could trust Jake or not, these pills did work. I'd take one more tonight and get a real good night's sleep. So I did. I would do anything now to go back in time and tell myself to stop. After that, it was all a blur of sirens, wires, and sobbing. Jake was in the waiting room until the doctors finally let him into my room in the ICU. I was so weak I couldn't even apologize to him. But I guess that's normal for a stroke. I wish I hadn't taken those pills. I missed all the signs of a blood clotting problem until I woke up alone in my apartment with half of my body paralyzed. With nobody there to help me, I was dehydrated and starving for days.